Trump's best chance, best pick for vice president. This one might surprise you. Nevertheless, you're certainly aware of who it is. You may have adverse opinions toward this individual, but many believe that this is by far his best choice because it brings folks to the party, to the fray, and may be a good choice for him. Now, we do know there was, 9 other candidates, everybody from the governor of North Dakota, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott. A host of others were running for the position, and many of them, Marco Rubio, folks would suggest, are in the running to be his vice president. But who would be the best choice? I want to give you a well-known conservative pundit, conservative talking head that I personally believe may be spot on despite my own political affiliation. And as always, you know we don't block, ban, or censor. So state your case in the comments. Let me know what you think on this one.
I have put forth that Nikki Haley far and away would help Donald Trump regain the White House. There's no question about it. That's it. He picks Nikki Haley, over. But he won't. He doesn't like her.
Bill O'Reilly, none other than the great Bill O'Reilly. I know a hell of a lot of you folks are like, I didn't even know he was still around. Nevertheless, he is online. What do you think? Do you think he makes a good case? Now, Bill O'Reilly also claims that you don't have to like a candidate to believe they may be what's in the best interest of your party, your candidacy. And he does believe she has the capabilities to run the country should President Trump have to step down or the unlikely or unthinkable takes place. So he's saying Nikki Haley is the one. Now, understand, on most polling estimates, she does have better favorable numbers than President Trump, with everyone with the exception of the group known as MAGA. Outside of MAGA, with independents, folks who may lean left that are not happy with President Biden, Nikki Haley is going to beat Trump handily in terms of favorable numbers. So Nikki Haley could bring to the fray a lot of folks that may be a bit skeptical on Trump, up to and including traditional Republicans. However, many would suggest, well, if you're going to bring in Nikki Haley, why not someone like Vivek Ramaswamy? Well, right off the bat, Vivek is for the most part Trump light. However, we also have to bring up this particular talking head that made this comment.
Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
What the hell was that? Now, I guess I'd ask you folks, do you believe that is a racist comment? Coming from Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter has also been around, been in the game for a few decades now, at least 20 years or so. She's been on, navigating through right-wing circles, probably going back well into the Bush years. Made a comment like that the only reason she would not vote for Vivek Ramaswamy is simply because he's Indian. Oddly enough, there was not a lot of outcry on the right. The only response was, well, nobody really gives a damn about what Ann Coulter says, but the comment is awful. The comment is awful. And by the way, Vivek Ramaswamy gave her accolades for being a intelligent speaker and things like that. He got on Truth, and for the most part, gave her a lot of credit and just simply said, I disagree with her. But nevertheless, have somebody tell you the only reason they're not voting for you is simply because of where you were born. Wow. So what do you folks think? Nikki Haley as VP? Do you think she could bring in more support for Trump outside of, let's say, Marco Rubio, who, if I had to give my humble opinion, and nobody may give a damn about that, but I would suggest that Marco Rubio, with his, he has somewhat of a draw in regards to some Hispanics, mainly Venezuelans and Cubans, folks from Cuba. So I do believe that Marco Rubio might also be a decent pick for Trump. However, there is some kind of an issue. Fact is, because Trump now lives in Florida and so does Marco Rubio, I believe Marco Rubio would have to relocate from Florida before he could officially be Trump's running mate. But I want to hear from you folks. What do you think? Nikki Haley, good or bad? Do you believe Nikki Haley could help Trump out in any way, fashion, or form? As you've seen Bill O'Reilly state, which is likely accurate, Trump has a personal dislike for Nikki Haley. Fact is, MAGA, at the behest of Trump, do not appreciate disloyalty. So running against Trump may be viewed as not being loyal because Trump believed that the helm was his for the taking. So any of the Republican contenders that put up any sort of a serious challenge to Trump, he views that as being disloyal. And that with Trump, things remain personal. It's not we shake hands after this is over with. You challenge me. So you can never be a part of the group again. And I believe, if I'm correct, he did make a quote of that nature, that if she continued on and you were either MAGA or you were a Republican endorsing Nikki Haley while she was running for president, for the most part, you were asked out. He didn't want nothing else to do with you. I believe he did send something like that out, said if you do this, you're permanently barred from MAGA or something like that. So the issue with Trump with Nikki Haley is personal. However, I want to hear your opinion because I do believe she could bring in a lot of voters that do not like the bombastic nature of Trump, do not like the chaos. Obviously, Nikki Haley has no court cases, whether you find those cases to be legitimate or witch hunts. None of that's orbiting around Nikki Haley. She didn't take part in anything in regards to the 2020 election, suggesting it was stolen or defending January 6th. She didn't play any part in any of that, which may work to her benefit. However, most of those other 9 candidates on stage said a lot of things that were favorable to Trump right after January 6th. And whether you agree or disagree with it, a lot of Americans still hold Trump accountable for that. So Nikki Haley would be clean of all of that. We've seen in the elections that were even being held after Nikki Haley dropped out, she continued receiving double-digit percentages, 20, 25, up to 30% of the vote, even after she was out of the race. So Nikki Haley does have some followers. We'll leave it to you folks. As always, feel free to smash that like button. You can subscribe to the channel as usual, and I'll see you in the next video.